Hey, welcome to Stars and Wishes, our case review for this case, and yeah, we got
We
that was
immediately
a
started talking about it before we started recording again, and so I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, hold on, we gotta talk about it with
Yeah.
everybody." That's why I was giggling. I think it's so funny. We're so excited about it.
yeah, that was a super fun one. I wanted to kind
Oh
of find like a
man,
different mode for Annie and Justin, like a different kind of structure to like kind of put them in, and man, I
just
think
did
it
it.
was so much fun.
It was so funny.
It was great. I love Annie and Justin so
They're
damn
so
much.
Once again, I love you so much. I'm so sorry that Amy's so mean to Justin sometimes.
The thing is, me and Justin are the similar in that we show each other love by being just bullies, because like anyone
It's
else would not take it.
it's like, I mean, I grew up my entire family, like, teasing is a love language,
Yeah,
and so, like, and me as a person, I don't do it so often, but, like, I can absolutely turn it on because 'cause I'm so familiar with it, so, like, putting it
yeah,
in a character has been really fun for me. I think we talked about it in one of our other case and reviews that, like, I mean, both of us have multiple siblings.
yep.
Are you the oldest or are
I'm the
you
oldest. I
middle?
got
You're the
three
old well, yeah,
younger
we're both the
sisters.
oldest sibling of of younger sisters. And so I think we have there's just like a thing that we could kind of like tap into. So it's very fun
Yeah.
to be like, he, like I'm gonna turn that little nasty bit on. I know they're full adults, but
It's
also
so funny because in my head I was like, yeah, they're full adults, and then I realized how childish we were playing. That when Rick was like, by the way, these are full grown adults, and I was like, that's a good. You probably should reiterate that because we are acting like just absolute kids.
yeah. It's that what's the God, what was it? It was the God, some of the like behind the scenes or like interviews for the like it movies they were talking about because they have like the kids and then the adults. They talk about
Yeah,
like the like coming back to childhood, like being around people who you knew at that age, who like you have
yeah,
that level of familiarity with. Oh my God, I think I talked about this with Will and Benny too. Was like you have this like there's this thing that changes in you where you revert to the
you
level
revert
of
back to it.
comfortability, the like
Yeah,
whimsicalness that you had with them at the foundational ages. So it's like Annie's been gone for 6 years. I mean, she's been back for holidays, but like her coming back
yeah.
is these two immediate. She's living in her dad's house. These two are so tween brain right now. Like, yes, they're adults with jobs and doing shit and driving cars and solving
I
murders,
mean,
but like
jokes.
jobs. But like they have this like foundational like juvenile connection that I feel like they just kind of will always be a thread in their relationship, and it's really fun to get to like goof off.
And like the love between them is like just totally apparent in every interaction, so it's like it
Yeah.
all works just
I
so
love
perfectly.
them. Oh
um
man, everything I love it when Justin gets to make a bad decision. It makes me so happy.
There's because there are times when like there's so many options where I'm like, I'm gonna take the least optimal choice right now. Like
Yeah, of
whenever you
course.
say something that there's a chance Justin doesn't know, I'm like, let me roll for it.
Yeah, let me
Let
see
me
if he
see
does.
if
Let me
he
see if he
knows
does
what
not.
this means.
So funny. I can
Because
just see
also,
the
I'm
like.
gonna be honest as well. Also, Caitlin saying starboard
Yeah, it
when we're
was to be stupid. Of
rushing
course,
towards.
of course it was stupid. Of course it was. Also, for like behind the scenes, the only reason I thought of that was because we were talking about pirates
Yeah,
during the break, and I was like, oh, that would be so unhelpful. It would be
because
so
I
silly and
know,
unhelpful.
like Jack, I know starboard is right, port is left.
Yeah.
But I was like, does Justin know? I don't know. I don't think Justin knows.
That's just so fun about the show. We could just like throw stuff out and be like, yeah, as kids, we knew this thing. Or like, what are you talking about? Let's
What the
make
hell are
this
you talking
like it's
about? Yeah.
amazing. It's so much fun. We were talking like right before the break, I was joking about or during between the end of the episode and this one, the thing that I was giggling about was I was like, Annie, as soon as she got a piece of technology, she was just like this is not helpful. I am not an outdoor kid.
Yeah, no, it was perfect because I feel like it was a really cool. Like this is a star for Rick for including this kind of adventure because it was like a nice like not diversion.
Yeah.
That's not the right word for it, but like tangent. Like it's still a mystery, but it wasn't like detective. It was like much more actiony kind of mystery. Like we're physically trying to get to these people,
And still feels correct, like in the setup
yeah,
we've done. Like it fully fits. This makes perfect sense that they do
yeah.
this. Like, of course, they accidentally stumbled upon like a mystery in the wilderness. Of course, why not? Why wouldn't they?
I also love the physical hijinks that you both do so great, and it's like I definitely for my wishes it's like, oh yeah, that's I want to see more of that, like situations where you're gonna get to do stuff like cross the bridge and the beehive and stuff
The
like that.
beehive was so funny to me.
Oh my god, that made me laugh
loved,
so hard. Oh my god.
I feel like this is an unspoken bond between me and Caitlin, because we immediately became quiet and just unnecessarily calm. Like, don't react. We are on a beehive. Okay. I just loved it.
Oh my god. Literally, it took everything in my being to not instantiate one of them with a bee allergy in that moment, just because that's me.
Me too, on this. I was like,
I would be like, I would be like, no, we don't need to deal with that right now. I don't actually want to deal with someone going into anaphylactic shock, but like, I'm very, very allergic to bees. Like, that's like the only time I've ever had to like be rushed to the hospital for anything of that nature was because of bees. And so I was like, don't, it's morbid. Don't make the joke. Don't say you forgot your EpiPen. don't do it.
Oh my god! And then you can imagine if you failed the roll.
I had to think that one through to the end before I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I definitely was like, in that moment, I was like, would it be funny if Justin's allergic?
No, it's too much. God, that's funny though. Oh no. Ugh. And like letting us split up when you were like, oh, there's nothing, and then like getting something out of it that Justin got to get some like fun items that almost all became useful.
Yeah,
the whistle and the flare and the now you're collecting locks, which was just kind of funny. But
yeah, I'll be honest, I'll take the locks to like throw them and cause a sound for distraction. That's what Jack was thinking, like this would be cool if at the end I'd use it as a distraction. But I was very front and center, so I couldn't like throw a lock. Like, hey, look over there.
Yeah, star for that. Cool to pretend to like, oh my god, that was so funny. To like, hello, I'm gonna be a silhouette of a person who maybe has authority. You don't know.
We were like, oh, it's not night, and I was just sort of like, I wonder if it would work. I was like, I'll just bump up the difficulty a tiny bit for it not being night. But it worked great, honestly. It's like, it was like such a perfect way to kind of end that, particular chase.
Starter Rick for letting me ask about the park's handbook. And like, what? I was like, Annie's, I don't know what'd be in there. I'm just let Rick give me a solution if he thinks my idea is good enough, because I don't want to make you give me specifics. But I was like, this is a thought that would be kind of fun and cool. And you ran with it so smoothly. I was like, this could be, I hope this is not the worst thing that I have ever asked him.
No, start a Caitlin, because, they had, I assume they took a car and left that building, and you were looking around like trying to figure out what to do next. And I was just like, well, but now the car's been driving down the road for a while they've been looking around here. I'm just like, how do I, how am I going to get them all caught up? And Caitlin's just like, hey, can I find the thing so I can find a handbook so I can maybe try and send a message? And I was just kind of like, oh, a message could get through. And Caitlin was like, so maybe the ranger could do something, or, and I just like, I was just like, oh my God, that's it. That's how this has to work. I'm like, oh my God, please succeed.
She had to literally give her something with tech. She's been in the wilderness the whole time. She's been falling through bridges. She's been encountering cougars and falling down hills. And then as soon as we gave her any modicum of a book she could read and a piece of technology, she was like, baby, I'm back.
I absolutely love how Justin coming along both knocked you over the thing, and turned the cougar now on him.
So it kind of maybe saved her from it, but she did also fall down a hill.
But she did fall down a hill, yeah. And it was a big hill.
And that felt correct. I feel like that was the only way that could go. For us splitting up, and then that, of course.
Yeah, we had to split up. The moment you were like, see, come to a fork road, I'm like,
I was like, of course, okay, we're splitting.
And I think really good use of the injury system. We got to use both banged up and stressed and have one resolve into the other, and we used the medical kit and stuff. It's like,
and I mean, I went all the way to incapacitated last time, which was, I think that went pretty smooth. I was like, I didn't really know, because in my head we're trying to make this narrative and like TV show kind of a thing, like it's supposed to be, and sometimes people just get knocked out. Sometimes the scene just has to end. You just fail the rest of the scene, and that's whatever that looks like. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, hopefully it's okay. I'm like, technically, if I'm incapacitated, I'm out. Like, I'm done. Like, for the scene, you don't get me until the next scene again. And so I was like, hopefully it's okay. I think it worked okay. And so then this episode getting to like slide between them, I think it was pretty slick. I think it was pretty
I
good.
thought it was pretty good.
I am digging the injury system.
Yeah.
It's like it is exactly the kind of narrative driven system that
Yeah, like that's what I always wanted out of this, was like this game to be like, it doesn't have to be so crunchy. Like, it's all barter and it's all narrative. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much more fun that way, because then everybody kind of gets a piece of the story to like. Everyone's a little bit more of a narrator when that's like like part of a system, and I always think that's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so I have like 50 more stars
Oh
to
my
give
gosh.
each of you,
We're
but
getting real
our 10 minutes are up.
Oh, okay.
What?
Okay.
Okay,
We do
all right.
wishes real quick.
Yeah, wishes, and also every time I have to ask what we did that you weren't expecting,
Ooh,
Okay.
and then we also do wishes.
I mean, honestly, it's like, we already covered it, but above and beyond in this game, there were a couple of little things, but like the Morse code thing, the like, I want to look for a walkie-talkie, and then like the use of it, that, that was something that like just I had absolutely no contemplation, was coming. There were a couple of other little things too where it was like I had a lot of incidents and sort of ideas about things that could happen in a park, but like how they would fit together, I kind of just made up as y'all kind of charted your way through the whole thing. And it was just like, honestly, it's like this is like right in there with like my favorite movies, like one of my favorite movies is like Midnight Run. With Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, and it is like just this kind of great hijinksy, like physical comedy buddy thing, It's like, and this reminded me in spirit very much of that, and I just, I had the best time with this episode. So, okay, so wishes, Jack, real fast.
Oh, wishes. Oh God. I think it would be interesting at some point, maybe way later on, if somehow all these people we've helped throughout this series kind of helps us at some point. Like maybe we're in a bind and they end up reaching out to help us. I think that would be pretty cool, because I'm realizing that we've helped a lot of people and like helped a lot of families. And I think it'd just be cool to see that all come together near the end.
I would cry.
Season 5 finale of Power Play.
Yeah, literally.
But Caitlin?
I just love it when Annie's bad at shit. I think it's so funny. I love this, like having to do so much physical stuff and having her just like really struggle. I know maybe it's sometimes a slog as like a player to like fail at stuff, but I'm like, I love to build characters who suck at shit. Like Annie is so good at mind and computers. Like she is so built for that. So having her in this situation is so funny to me. Like the physical comedies, I love it when you have to put her like completely out of her wheelhouse. I can't wait for more of that. And also just anytime the little seed of Caleb asking Annie how she's doing with Sebastian being gone, and Annie just being like, "Oh well, Uno reverse. How are you doing?" And then I'm just like, "That's the end." I love it. I love what that insinuates about their about how good they are at being emotional. I love what that insinuates about the future. I can't wait for that to blow up in someone's face. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, agree with all that, and for me, just like I especially agree with like, yeah, I love one of my favorite things about playing the two of you is that you're both really into, the greatness of failure, and how not just like failing at a role, but like taking making the choice where you're like, well, my character would do this and it would totally screw everything up for us, but like, hey, my character would do this and it would totally screw everything up.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are my favorite kinds of characters and my favorite kind of games where it's like everything proceeds by just kind of, I mean, just like this episode was, it's just like, barely surviving one thing, falling onto a beehive, then rolling over a hill, getting swiped by a mountain lion, and then finding your way towards victory at the end. It's like, those are my favorite characters and my favorite stories. And it's just like, you're totally nailing that whole, I mean, anyway. So more of that would be my wish, more failure.
Love it. Love it.
More failure.
Love it.
More failure. And I think that should be it. That is that was great. And
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for another case review. See you next time.